So welcome everybody again to the next part of the TÜV SÜD Insights at the World Hydrogen Congress here in Rotterdam. I have now Monica here with me from the Colombian Hydrogen Association. Really nice to have you here. And to start with, could you explain a bit what your position is at the Colombian Hydrogen Association and what you're doing in Colombia?
Thank you, Thomas. I'm the Executive Director of the Hydrogen Association of Colombia. We are the association that is representing the industrial ecosystem that is creating hydrogen and its derivatives in our country. Colombia is a country that has lots of renewable energy, sun, wind, geothermal, biomass, so we have a big opportunity to produce clean hydrogen. And what we're doing is we are creating the ecosystem, also making the link between public and private entities.
So Colombia is relatively new on the global map for hydrogen production. So an interesting fact is also how Colombia is positioning itself on the global markets. Do you plan to use it mainly also to decarbonize local, national industries, or are you focusing on large-scale projects for the export into North America, South America, or European markets as well?
Well, because we are really well located, we have the option to export through Europe or to Asia. We have a lot of renewable resources. We did the roadmap in 2021 and we established a price goal for 2030 of about $1.7 per kilowatt of green hydrogen. That is pretty competitive.
Yeah.
So we have a challenge to meet that goal. But with this goal, what happened is that Colombia, in the ranking that IRENA did, is the fourth most competitive country for green hydrogen production. So the spotlight is on us. Yeah. Now what we need to do is to develop the projects and get the hydrogen.
Fourth most competitive country, there's a pretty big spotlight on you then. And as a hydrogen association, how do you see the government of Colombia supporting the efforts of becoming or realizing the potential that's within Colombia for green hydrogen?
Well, in terms of demand, we have two opportunities in Colombia. The first one is exports, because our industry is not that developed, so let's just use the hydrogen in the first stage to export and to create a new green economy. And the second one is locally. We need also our industry to decarbonize, so we will promote the industrialization of Colombia with these green technologies. The government is really helping. We have a roadmap that was issued in 2021. We continue to develop the regulation. We have a new government that is really committed to having hydrogen as one of the key elements in the energy transition. And right now, between the association, the European Union, and the Ministry of Mines and Energy, we are structuring the first fund for big-scale hydrogen projects.
Okay, that's pretty interesting. So how are these funds going to be structured? It's going to be public-private partnerships with banks, international investors?
Yeah, we want to do a mix of everyone that can cooperate with money, because it's really different when you develop projects in Europe that you have a lot of subsidies, a lot of help. And in Latin America, we don't have that many help from the government because we have other necessities. So what we're doing is we're connecting with international countries that have funds. We're connecting to the World Bank, IDB, GIZ, and all of them are going to put some money into this fund so we can have a first call for projects. And the way that Chile did it is they got $50 million first, and they did a call for projects, and I think they helped six industrial scale projects for hydrogen. We want to do the same.
We talked also before a bit about the different projects that are already announced in Colombia. Can you perhaps explain or just showcase a few of them? Because it ranges from really large scale production of hydrogen to ammonia, and I think it's quite a big variety in the project.
Yes, we have currently 7 pilot projects. They were focused mostly on mobility. We also had the first blending between natural gas and hydrogen project for residential sector in Latam. So we're a country that has been developing these projects very fast. From the association, we did the work of getting all the information of the projects. We have the first project database of the country. And the news are really good, because right now we have 28 projects in development for a lot of uses, to produce ammonia for exportation, methanol for industrial use. Some of them are focused on mobility too. We also have our national oil company, Ecopetrol, developing 260 megawatt projects in each one of the refineries that Colombia have, so they can decarbonize their production. So it's really good. The news for Colombia are we have a prosperous future. Now the challenge is how we get those projects to really become a reality.
Yeah, so getting them really from now the first idea and the strategy into a concrete plant and especially bankable opportunity. Then perhaps one last question, because this is always something associations have to deal with, creating the right regulatory framework also for the projects, for investors, but also for the operators at the end. So how is this going in Colombia?
Well, what we're doing is we're analyzing the regulation that other countries have, because what we think is we don't need to invent everything. We can copy and just change a little bit what we need for the specifics of our market. But we have 4 years because the projects are coming in after 2030, 2020, 2035. So we have a couple of years to develop this regulation. What we're seeing is that the mobility sector is moving super fast, so we need to start with those regulations. We also need to start with some of the industries that want to use locally hydrogen, glass industry, the refinery industry, to see what we need to do, if we need to do something else, or if we can make it with the regulation that we have. And I think regulation is key because it gives certainty to the investors that the projects are going to be well done.
Definitely. Okay, perfect. Then thank you very much, Monica. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to get some updates on the projects in Colombia.
Yes, sure. And I hope I'll see you in Colombia.